Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we continue this talk of the deep blue sea, this talk of the Leviathan from the seas, talking the great whites that will haunt and destroy your little small island town, and that will eat you alive, because the Retro Blood is talking all about 1980s shark horror movies. That's right. We're doing a whole month. Move over Discovery Channel. They only do a fucking week. We do a whole month of shark 80s killing. Here
yeah, we do Shark Month.
Yeah, we do Shark Month, brother.
Yeah.
Up next, if y'all like National Geographic stock footage, if y'all like kids who do a blood oath, like in the movie It, but not with the clown, but with sharks. If you like kids to do a blood oath with meth out native Indian looking dude who like appears and looks like he's on crack, but he's supposed to be a native Indian who is the ultimate fisher of the seas. And if y'all like kids who hunt sharks with their dad, and then all the women just love them at the end, and it's a happy blow-up story, this is the review for you, brother, because the Retro Blood is talking about deep blood.
Yeah.
J.H. Alison, James Kline. What's happening, Alison? How's your... I'm not really sure where we were, because we were shot in a bunch of different locations. How was your multiple location deep blood experience? How was it, Alison?
Man, it was awesome. Yeah, this movie is a lot like It, but with sharks.
Yeah, what the hell is going on with that? Like, why do we
really
need
know?
that?
Well, exactly. Why do we? This is not even part of the plot. Like, why do we even need this in the story? But it was shot at a completely different time by a completely different director, which we'll talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff with the making of this film that I found that was like kind of hilarious. And we talked about this director before. We actually did him a couple months ago when we did that movie we couldn't pronounce, Anthropophagus.
Yeah,
that one. What about the cannibal?
Yeah.
It's about the one that, back in our island, Killer Island month, is the one that the cannibal ate the fetus bag. We couldn't believe what we were seeing the whole time. That was that one.
You're talking about
boy, JoeDAmato.
JoeDAmato.
Yeah. JoeDAmato is back, brother. He's an Italian. We got into our we all love these Italian movies, bro. But like this one, I wasn't really feeling it too much with the Italianness in this film. Even though I did like the Kool-Aid blood that they had in the water.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was like, what's the cheapest thing we can get to make blood?
Yeah, exactly.
It turns out it's Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But so this doesn't feel like an Italian movie because it's supposed to be an American movie, right? It's supposed to look like an American movie. It's like they watched Jaws and said, let's make a movie like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think you can tell that it's not made by Americans. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It's like, you can just tell that it's not made by Americans. But I mean, I enjoyed this. I thought it was a lot of fun.
This one wasn't too bad. Like, it was, it wasn't like, offensive or nothing like that, I guess, or like horrible or boring. It was like just kind of like your regular old Jaws ripoff, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just a Jaws ripoff, and like
it's like
the whole time. Yeah.
Well, it's like if you add the Jaws ripoff and we put some voodoo in there.
Right.
I mean,
which those Italians love the voodoo.
They do, man. Yeah. They love these fucking. Do you notice that? Like even if it's supposed to be a normal story, the Italian, they'll put some Indian burial magic in that shit. They'll put some voodoo in that shit, just out of nowhere, just for some reason. All right, the monster creature of the street, the Wacken, is coming for you.
Yeah, they love like voodoo stories, and like this guy JoeDAmato also directed. It's not one of the ones we did, but when we did the zombie month, with all the zombie sequels, he directed a movie called Dead Birds.
It was
Birds, I think it's what it's called.
Killing Birds.
Killing Birds, yeah. And that's also considered a sequel to Zombie and some.
I don't know how we missed that one. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple out there that we missed. We probably just didn't have enough like dates in that month for it.
Enough time. Yeah. Because remember, like when we talked about it, there's like 3 different sequel series that that like some people say these are the sequels, say these are the sequels. He also directed that movie Ghost House, which is considered in Italy is considered Evil Dead 3.
Yeah.
And a movie called Witchery, which is considered Evil Dead 4, which I'm sure we'll do those eventually as well.
You know, we're probably gonna need to do like a whole month about this guy. This Joe guy, as long as all of his movies were made in the 80s. We're probably gonna have to do that because unless we do another zombie month or something like that, or demon month, we can add some of the stuff in there. We might have to start doing some like directors only, movies on there to get that going. We do have a hint for that coming in August. So
yeah, we definitely need to do some directors months for sure. There should be plenty of JoeDAmato movies to do because he would make like sometimes 3 movies a year.
Yeah, he would. He was definitely pumping them out, and I like his film. Like some of his stories could be a little wacky. And like little bit. That cannibal one was super wacky.
Yeah, the same year he made that movie, he also made a movie called Porno Holocaust.
Yes.
Which is basically kind of a parody of Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
But it has like hardcore like porn scenes in it. So we should definitely do that if we get a chance. If we can find it anywhere.
Golly. Yeah, there's pretty interesting shit that comes out of these some of these directors. But we'll talk all about it because this Deep Blood had I would say the most exciting story, but I thought some of it was pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I did like the Miki character slowly going into madness. It's always fun when you have that going on. So, but everybody, like we do every Retro Blood, Deep Blood is no exception. Let's talk about what is going on in the world of the pro wrestling and music. Because we don't have metal music this week. We have music.
We have music.
So this one, like a lot of the Italian films that me and Alison do over here, there's not like a definitive release date with a lot of them. They kind of get released. So usually they get released in Italy, and then they get released like all over the world in different times. That's why when you see on this movie, it could be some of it's 1989, some of it's 1990. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's all different release dates. So I couldn't find a definitive release date. So I thought it'd be fun that we can just use the date that this movie is that we're having this released on our show, July 20th, 2025. But we'll just do July 20th, 1989 for the release date. All right, so we're going back in time on this date right here, brother, to talk about some wrestling and metal. And I got one fun to talk about, which we did talk a little bit about this before this rivalry, but we do have the first ever non-touring Great American Bash Show came out July 23rd, 1989. All right. So this is actually the first, like, we talked about this before, me and Alison on the show, when it comes to the Great American Bash in the 80s. At first, it was from Jim Crockett Promotion, but it was like a whole month or two of like tours that they would like. It's kind of like a tour. The bands would tour and shit. Like the Great American Bash is basically like a tour.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And those were known for having the War Games matches and those Great American Bashes at that time. But when WCW or Jim Crockett Promotion was being sold to WCW, they decided to make just a pay-per-view basically out of the Great American Bash, and that's when we got this show, headlines by Terry Funk and Ric Flair on this one. So there are a couple of things I want to talk about from here. Okay. So this is the World Championship Wrestling put on the show. But they were still in the NWA at this time. Okay. And let's see. It was the previous. So, like I was saying before, this was the first Great American Bash that was held by WCW, while the other ones were put on by Jim Crockett Promotions. All right. So technically technically this is the 5th Great American Bash, but it's not because it's the first one. Because this wasn't a touring one; it was just a one-night event one. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So So what you're saying is this is the first pay-per-view version.
Yeah, pay-per-view version of it. Yes.
Yeah, because Turner had bought WCW. He had bought Crockett maybe like 6 months before, a year before, or something like that.
Yeah.
He bought it in 88 or 89, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought this is also interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually takes place at the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. So we're having a good old Great American Bash at the Baltimore Arena. And if I'm not mistaken, this is just a personal thing, but I think I was living in Baltimore, Maryland when this show happened. Because I did live a year in Maryland when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this is the year I lived there. Because I was 4 years old when I lived in Maryland.
Right.
And this took place in 1989, and I was born in 1985. So I was 4 years old, and I could have went to this Great American Bash show if I knew what wrestling was at the time, which I didn't.
Right, because you hadn't discovered it yet. But yeah, you could have been 4 years old at the
awesome.
Samoan SWAT team and the Road Warriors in a War Games match. Yeah.
Exactly. So, a couple things like you're saying. We had the thing I noticed about this one is because I watched a little bit of the show. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. But they were promoting the Skyscrapers at this time as like the big, massive team. And I love the Skyscrapers, man. This was Psycho Sid and then Danny Spivey with their manager, Teddy Long. I was like, fuck, man, this team has always impressed me. They won like a battle royal. Then they came back and did a fucking tag team match. I was like, God damn. So we basically had a War Games match. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple good stuff on here. We had the Ricky Steamboat, all right, versus the Great Muta. All right.
Yeah, no, not on this show. It's Sting versus Great Muta.
Yeah, Sting versus the Great Muta.
Yeah.
All right, which is another great match to have. We had the NW World Television Champion Steiner Brothers versus the Varsity Club. All right. We had the Jim Cornette versus Paulie Tuxedo match.
Oh, I'm sure that was fantastic.
All right.
So, but I have a question though. So, how did both Skyscrapers win a battle royal?
Okay, so here's what happened because I watched this part. So they did this weird battle royal, right, to begin the show.
All right.
And they had all these wrestlers in there. So what you had to do was you would start in one ring, you would have to throw your opponent to the other ring, and then from the other ring they would have to get eliminated. So
wow, that seems overly complicated and long.
Yes. So they're going back and forth with this boring ass battle royal.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being Sid was on one ring and Spivey was on the other ring. And then Teddy Long comes out saying, I don't want these two monsters to go out and kill each other for your all's entertainment. They're my team, and we're not doing this. So they just left and they didn't do it. Then they came back out and did a tag team match and whipped some ass. But you could really tell at this time they were trying to get Spivey and Sid over because they were pretty impressive, man. Like there's a lot of people on this show, this Great American Bash show, that are going to be prominent in the 90s, like a ton of them. All right.
Yes, and so they came back out to beat Shane Douglas and John Laurinaitis.
Yes.
Johnny Ace. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we got Sting, which obviously would be a huge player in the 90s. All right. We would have the Steiner Brothers, obviously would be a big players in the 90s. Paulie Dangerously, obviously a big player in the 90s. Sid Vicious, big player in the 90s. I mean, there's a lot of people on this show that would go on to, be like, huge stars in the 90s and stuff. And, we also, the War Games match with the Road Warriors and stuff on there, Midnight Express and stuff. We had this Samoan SWAT team, also some Fat 2 and everything. Yeah. Big stars in the 90s. So 1989 is a pretty fun era for pro wrestling because you would see a lot of the stars that would be, later on like headliners, you would see them kind of like be on the undercard of 1989. So you can kind of see them starting off like Lex Luger, was a very early star in the 1980s, 1988 and 1989. But then when he would get to the 90s, he would be a lot bigger star. You know, same thing with Ultimate Warrior. You know, guys like that. So it's pretty fun to see. Like I like this little era of like 1989 because like you can see the building blocks to the 90s on here. So
yeah, like what I was gonna say is like this show in particular and some of the shows from the next year, you can really see, like you were just kind of like you were just saying, like the old guard becoming the new guard in a way. Like you can see like the 80 stars fading, even though they're still on top right now. You can see them starting to fade, and then the younger people coming up because, like, you know, to a lot of people, well, even to me, Sting has always been a top star. You know what I mean? Like he's been top of the card, but that wasn't the case in 1989. He was still a mid card wrestler.
Yeah,
he was super popular.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was still a mid-card wrestler. And, you know, Lex Luger was coming up. Like that Lex Luger match is perfect because it's like Luger versus Steamboat. You know, so Luger's on his way up and Steamboat's on his way down.
Yeah. And
you know, Steamboat would probably go maybe a couple more years and then he would be definitely not on top anymore.
But, man.
Flair would kind of stay on top for a while.
Yeah, all throughout the 90s, Flair would be there. Terry Funk, though, we would go through a little bit of a change. You know, because this is like peak Terry Funk right here when it comes to like his athleticism. Terry Funk, he did a little bit of the hardcore stuff, but it wasn't until he joined like ECW where he went mainly for the hardcore stuff. But he would be a big figure throughout the 90s too. I mean, he would jump back to all kinds of different promotions. He would do WCW, he would do ECW, he would do WWE. I mean, he would do everything in the 90s. So it's kind of fun to see like the wrestlers at this point like transitioning into the 90s. So
yeah, it's cool. This is a good show to watch if you just want to see like the transition from the 80s wrestling to 90s wrestling. This is a great show to watch.
Yeah,
and then you had a lot of people that would have been big stars like Brian Pillman.
Yeah,
you know, like Pillman would have been a huge star if he'd stayed alive.
Yeah, well, he was getting himself over until '97.
True,
when he had that unfortunate accident. But yeah, I would say this show for WCW, I would say this show and then the Halloween Havoc of 1989 were two, like if you watch those shows and you're a big fan of 90s wrestling, you would see a lot of building blocks in those two shows. And
for sure, even
though like WCW at this time, like 1988, 1989 was going down the shitter compared to what they were doing with Jim Crockett promotion, golly, they had some great talent and some great matches at this time. You know, like
for sure.
It's kind of like one of those like, you know, compared to WWF at this time, like WWF was killing them. They were destroying WCW. But man, like they had some good people on there, bro. They had Sid on there coming up, Lex Luger, Sting.
Yep.
Steiner Brothers. I mean, they still had a lot of the old guard, Ricky Steamboat, Terry Funk on there. You know what I mean? Road Warriors were still there. I mean, damn, this is a good card.
I was about to say this is pretty early Steiner Brothers too.
If only I was my age right now when I was in 1980. Now I would have been at this show, no problem.
Oh yeah, we can say that about a lot of things.
Yeah.
This would have been a great show to be at. This was history right here.
Yeah.
Another thing I thought was interesting about the show was Bill Irwin and Brian Pillman were both in that Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And then they immediately had a match with each other right after the Battle Royal. So like they came right back out, I guess, and had a match with each other.
Yep.
I mean, that's crazy because they were talking about how Dustin Rhodes like like last week or had he had a match at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and then he had a match earlier in the day in the pre-show of All In, and then he had a match at All In too. So that was 3 matches in 24 hours or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But he didn't have a match 10 minutes and then have a match 10 minutes later. So,
Wait, no, he's already warmed up. Just send him out there, brother.
He's already warmed up. Just send him right back out there.
So that's just a couple
he's
cool.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a couple cool stuff. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to see, the progression of what we're going to be seeing in wrestling in the 90s and stuff. Even though part of the 90s wrestling did go to the shitter, which is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy to think. Like, he had all this great talent and yeah, it just kind of went to the shitter after that. And it went to the shitter, and then it rose up to the highest ranks it could. It's crazy.
Yeah, when would you say it started going down in WCW? 91?
Yeah, 91, 92. And then basically it all kind of trickled down from that steroid scandal for
right.
Vince McMahon and everything. Like wrestling just had a very bad stigma
Mm-hmm.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just a lot of people just weren't watching. So obviously the WWF creative stuck because everybody had to have a job gimmick, and then WCW was trying to copy that a little bit, and it just wasn't working. Like they had Kevin Nash out there as Oz and shit like that. They had like the ding dongs and bullshit. Like nobody cared about that, and it really wasn't until the Attitude Era and like the Monday Night Wars where the wrestling pretty much blew up again, like it did in the '80s.
Yeah, I mean, WCW figured out that the job gimmick shit doesn't work, and if they made it more real, people would watch it, which is what happened with NWO, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but fun stuff, man. We could talk about wrestling all day on here, but let's get on. We could. We gotta do a lights out. Well, we do lights out. We have lights out coming up pretty soon in October, where we'll do the Battle of the Halloween Havocs. That's gonna be very fun because that's gonna be the first time we're going to be doing that on video, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I would like to do some lights out again. Maybe we'll do some more shows of, because there's a lot of good Great American Bash shows and WWF shows that we can talk about. So, but Alison, what do we got going on for the music? What are we going to be listening to while driving to J.H. Allison's Rent-A-Center to rent Deep Blood?
Deep Blood. Deep Blood. Yeah, so July 25th, 1989 was the release date for Beastie Boys' Paul's Boutique. So this is maybe the first time we've ever talked about a rap or a hip hop record on this show. But I want to talk about it because I actually like this record a whole lot, and I didn't know if you've ever heard it or not. It's sort of like one of those things. It's like the hipster Beastie Boys record. Yeah. So with the history of the Beastie Boys, they came out in the 80s with License to Ill and all those big songs that everybody knows. I can't think. No Sleep Till Brooklyn and Fight for Your Right to Party and all that stuff. Yeah. And they were kind of considered they were like a Rick Rubin band, right? Like they were like, before Rick Rubin was super famous, he discovered the Beastie Boys and put that record out and that kind of thing. But they were kind of considered like a novelty group. Like they were like a one-hit wonder. They were never going to be anything. And they kind of wanted to, that was probably 1985 or 6, I guess. So this is 1988, 89. So they wanted to do something that was more creative and more like less comical in a way, although this album's pretty comical. But they wanted to do something more deeper, I guess, like a deeper record. So they went to California and they hooked up with these producers called the Dust Brothers, who would become really famous as producers in the years coming up in the 90s. And the one thing that I like about this album is the whole record, nothing is played on it, right? There's no musicians on it at all, as far as I know. Everything on it is a sample. So they would just take all like sounds from movies and like these old music albums and then like cut them up and put them together. And then find a beat from another record and put that on there, and then they would cobble together this music, and then the Beastie Boys would rap over it. And they got away with all kinds of things that I'm not even sure how they got away with, even at the time. That definitely wouldn't work now. And it's kind of weird that this album can even be released now because they sample the Beatles on it, which is something that would cost. It would cost so much to sample a Beatles song now that no one could ever afford to do it. But they sample like 3 different Beatles songs in one of their songs. It starts off with an Eagle sample. Like you could never, like Don Henley would sue you into the ground if you tried to sample the Eagles now. Oh, yeah. But it's just kind of cool because it's like this. It's like you listen to it and you're like, okay, I know this song. Where is this from? But the drum beat's from a different song, and like some of them are really obscure and some of them are not. And it's just kind of cool to listen to. But it's my favorite Beastie Boys record. They would come back, like 92, I guess, with Check Your Head, where they got really big and they got like really respected by the musical industry or whatever. But Paul's Boutique is where it's at. That's the best Beastie Boys record, in my opinion. It's so good. It's just good all the way through. But yeah, it's fantastic. Have you ever heard this at all? Because I know I kind of dropped this on you last minute, so you may not have got a chance to listen to it. But I was wondering if you'd ever heard it before.
I didn't get to listen to it, but I've heard Beastie Boys before, and I've seen their music videos. But I'm not familiar with this. I know their hits. The hits basically.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm not too familiar with the non-hits or the non-radio plays they don't get now, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I wasn't too familiar, but I know they're a big time rap band in the 80s and stuff, and they kind of like, they had, it's kind of like one of those ones where they had like a really big cult following, and then later on they would be on car commercials. It's one of those things.
Right, exactly. It's one of those things. Yeah, I remember seeing them, I don't know, probably 15, like it's probably close to 20 years ago now, that I saw them in Charlotte in a club. They were doing some like get out the vote type thing. So I saw them like in a small club, which is kind of cool to see. I mean, I'm not a huge Beastie Boys fan. This is, if we were going to drive on a long car trip and you had me pick all of the music, the Beastie Boys would not be in any of that. I would not pick any of them, but I do like this record a lot. I think it's really cool. It's really interesting, but it's the only Beastie Boys album I would listen to now. But I like it just because of the samples that are in it and the way it sounds and how audacious it is and that kind of thing. It's also got a really cool cover on it.
Well, but we had the remember Jason in this movie. Like the badass dudes with attitude guy. You know what I mean? The main bully of the town. I bet he's a Beastie Boys guy.
Yeah, I bet he was listening to Beastie Boys hardcore. He was probably listening to that first album and thought this one was like, this album flopped though. It did terrible.
Oh, really?
It absolutely flopped and almost ended their career. But they were able to come back and when alternative got big, right? When after grunge and like alternative quote unquote music was popular, they were able to come back and build a career. But yeah, I just want to talk about that for a minute. It's kind of short on the music this week, but I just wanted to mention that because we'll probably never get a chance to talk about it again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll play some
Beatles, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique.
Yeah, we'll play a little bit.
What? No, I doubt we can play anything from this album because of the samples that are in it. But I mean, we could try it.
Well, yeah. Well, if I can find it, we'll play some at the podcast, and not on here on YouTube. That's for sure. I ain't playing nothing on that. We'll get cut off in a second.
They'll take that down immediately. As soon as that Beatles sample hits, we're like, nope,
get on out of there. All right, so let's get on to who booked this shit. All right.
I love this story, by the way, of how this movie was made.
Yeah, there's a couple fun stuff about how the story was made for Deep Blood.
Yeah.
All right, of course, we got our boy, like we talked about earlier, JoeDAmato.
D'Amato, yeah.
All right. So a couple things before we get into the story, how it was made. I like the working title of this. They had a couple working titles. The first one was the Whackin'. All right.
Yeah.
So Whackin' was the creature that our methed out native tribe member guy tell us about, of the Whackin' who can control in the seas. Okay.
Right.
And I'll break down that whole story when I do the review because it's hilarious. But what do you think about this title? Blood in the Abyss. There you go. That's fun.
I like that one too.
Sounds like a metal song.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I like that one. I like Deep Blood a lot. I think that's a good title.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blood in the Abyss would have been also a great title.
It's also known as Sharks too.
Nice.
So it's like just fucking easy. Sharks. There's one VHS cover that says Sharks, aka Deep Blood. Interesting.
Wow, that's great.
All right, so basically here, excuse me.
Oh,
here's how I know. Here's how this all went down. So D'Amato met Raphael Donato. Did I say it right? Donato.
I think it's Donato, but yeah,
Donato. I sound like what's his name from Inglourious Bastards every time I do these Italian names. We got Raphael Donato over here.
I love it. It's my favorite part of the show.
Yeah. So he met him in 1975 on the set of Red Coast. You ever seen Red Coast before? Red Coast?
Nope. I have not seen it.
And he used him repeatedly as an English dialogue coach. Because remember our boy Joe, he's Italian.
And he doesn't speak English.
He don't speak that good of
Donato
English.
does.
Donato does. So he's like, I'll use this guy for my English shit.
Yeah.
So then he encountered him again years later in the United States and hired him on Deep Blood because he needs somebody who was fluent in English. All right.
Yeah. So he literally, this guy's not a director, right? Rafael Donato is not a director. I think this is the only movie he ever directed.
Yeah.
And he only directed the first scene in it. But the only reason he was picked for this was because he spoke English.
Yes, but also too, you're forgetting, he was like, yeah, I'll direct it. Like, he actually showed interest in directing it. He's like, yeah, I'll give that a shot. Like, I want to direct. All right.
Yeah.
And then when he directed the first scene, he's like, this shit don't work for me, brother. And the guy was like, what?
Yes.
He's like, yeah, man. Like, I did the first scene with these kids. And
I'm not really interested.
Like, I was watching it, right? And like, no, I was reading it because it hasn't come out at the time. I was reading it, and I thought that'd be a really good thing for me to direct just on the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then I was on the beach, and I had this methed out Indian guy, and these kids were eating wieners, and I was like, you know what? This ain't working for me, brother. I'm out of here. All right.
He basically quits like right after that. He filmed that scene, right?
Yeah,
and
pretty
he's
much
just done. Yeah,
and then basically, Joe he does the rest. He just does the rest of the film, but he doesn't put his name on it. Kind of, he just kept the other Raphael guy on there. So in an interview JoeDAmato gave for the 1996 book Spaghetti Nightmares, I like that title. JoeDAmato stated that Donato had told him that he wanted to direct the film. But after directing the first scene of the film at the beach, Donato realized that directing films was not what he wanted to do. JoeDAmato then finished the film on his own. So that's pretty much how it went. I just want to know that conversation. Like, you do the first scene right, and you're signed up for this whole movie, and you're just like, you know what, brother? This ain't for me, man.
I just don't want to do it.
These kids didn't listen to a word I said. I'm an artiste. And these and you guys are telling me you got this native guy who looks like some sort of cracked out meth white dude on here that's just tan?
That guy was definitely not Native American. Or probably even American, really.
So JoeDAmato said it was shot in Florida mostly. I wonder what part of Florida this looked like. What do you think?
Well,
Naples?
I don't know. Maybe Naples. But yeah, part of it's also not even shot on the ocean.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that when we get to the plot part.
Yeah, though we did a small part along the Mississippi River, the actual underwater scenes were shot in various places at Veneto and I don't know if I'm saying that right. Veneto and then I like this one, and a roaming swimming pool and a New Orleans aquarium. I bet you that scene with the boat. Remember that they had that boat that obviously looked like a little toy boat. I bet you that was in the swimming pool.
That's the swimming pool. Yeah.
They also said they built a mechanical shark's head, which you could tell. And for the rest of this scene, the footage scenes, they used stock footage bought from National Geographic.
So I thought they did really well with the stock footage.
Yeah, me too.
I thought that if you can tell it's not the same shark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you're looking at it, it's definitely not the same shark. But if you can get over that part of it, the scenes looked pretty good. And I'm kind of wondering if they wrote the movie based on the stock footage they had, or if they were able to order certain stock footage from National Geographic. Because like the scene where the shark's biting on the line when they're out on the boat.
Yeah.
And then they have a stock footage scene of a shark biting on a line. So I'm like, I wonder if they okay, we have a scene of a shark biting on the line, so let's write a scene where they're holding this rope. I don't know. But I thought it looked pretty good for what it was. I think for what they had, they did really good with it.
Well, I think the scene where the shark was biting on the rope was actually taken from another movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it says in the scenes of when the scene of the explosion killing the shark, they actually used footage from another movie called Great White.
Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot. I'd heard about that. I forgot about that. We should have done Great White this month. Maybe we'll do it next time.
Yeah. Maybe
next shark month.
Yeah. There's a couple other shark 80s movies out there we could probably find.
Yeah.
So also too, I believe footage from Great White was also used in another movie called Cruel Jaws. Oh my God, sign me up, bro.
Which we talked about. Yes. Yeah, Cruel Jaws is Jaws 5.
Yes.
The Italian Jaws 5. So we talked about that. Yeah. But this is one of the movies that they use scenes from. But yeah, Great White was directed by JoeDAmato, who directed Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah. So, like I said before, it had a working title, Whackin'. All right. And then it was announced as Sharks. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also announced as The Challenge. But it was
okay.
So JoeDAmato stated that he finally decided to credit Raphael for directing it, since himself had already shot many films during that year and wanted to avoid it became apparent that he was doing everything himself. Imagine that. Like, you're doing so much fucking films, you're like, you know what? I did this film, but I'm just not gonna put my name on it. I'm already doing too much. People are gonna think I'm just doing everything. All right.
Yeah, he had shot 4 or 5 movies that year already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, now that would be considered a good thing, right? Like, you're Quentin Tarantino. You do everything yourself.
Yeah.
But back then, I think in the film industry, it was thought of as like, you're a director and that's all that you do. You know what I mean? You hire other people to do other things.
Yeah.
And if you were doing things yourself, it made you look like you couldn't afford to hire those people, which they clearly could not afford to hire those people. But yeah, it's an illusion, right? It's like, he's trying to make it look like he's a bigger deal than he is. Although JoeDAmato, I mean, he's as far as like a cult classic director, like he's the cultiest of the culties, I would say.
So a couple trivia stuff that I thought was fun.
Yeah.
In this movie. Mm-hmm. One of them was the tagline on the cover of the VHS release title, Sharks. That's when it was on. Because like I said, it was Sharks, a.k.a. Deep Blood. It says, where sharks prey, the ocean is a bloodbath. Ooh.
Sounds awesome.
Italian Kool-Aid bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. So it is also... I tried to do some research on this, and I couldn't find it. All right.
Okay.
But they're saying that the Japanese release on the VHS of this movie has the shark from last week's episode, Jaws 4, on it, on the cover.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. That wouldn't surprise me.
I tried to do some research. I couldn't find it, but that's what they were saying. Okay. All right. So... All right. So... The films, so I thought, some of this is pretty fun. And we've talked about this already, but like Zombie 5, The Killing Birds, which we definitely want to do on the show, also directed by Joe. They use some of the music from that movie in this movie.
Yeah. Just got to reuse what you got.
So I'm like, I could do that. I'd like that. So apparently... I guess they built the mechanical shark's head, but they had to do the black fin as well too. They probably built that as well too. All right.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're not counting that, but yeah, they probably made a fin and then they made a shark's head, and then they're like, we'll just use studio or a stock footage for the rest of it.
It was also saying that the co-stars, Charlie Brill and Mackenzie McCall, are married in real life. So that's why their on-screen characters were so alike, I guess.
There's not a lot of background on this.
God, I don't know, a whole lot. So here's one thing that I thought was funny but disappointing. Apparently, this is one of the only movies that our boy, the director JoeDAmato, did that did not have nudity.
I know. I thought that was weird because that's what I know him most for. Coming into Italian horror, like I did. Like JoeDAmato is a guy who has nudity in his movies, and he loves nudity. He shot a lot of like softcore porn movies too, but no nudity in this.
And you had the perfect opportunity with that Janice girl. She could swim naked in the thing. You know what I mean?
It's so weird. Like, this is like one of the only movies he ever made that didn't have nudity in it.
They're pretty fun. Maybe because it's like, maybe he knew, like, after the guy quit, he's like, I'm not putting my name on this shit. I'll just give it to him.
Let's give it to him. No nudity. I can't put my name on it.
I'm not doing it, so. But yeah, that's some fun stuff about the making of Deep Blood. You know what I mean? So, but I say let's get into it. Let's get into the full review of Deep Blood.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'll leave you this arrow box as a seal to our pact. The only way we can trap Wakand is through these carvings that tells us of its paths, its currents, and where he's headed. Someday, this object may be useful to you.
What I don't understand is, why is it here, now?
This town has a history of trouble with the sea. Far back as the Indians, stories of monsters eating whole villages.
Don't believe everything you see.
John is dead. What?
All right, so we start off with some kids roasting some wieners over a fire on the beach. There, Alison. You ever roasted some wieners on the beach there, Alison?
I actually have. Of all these questions you asked me, I've actually done that before. Not as often on the beach as I have camping, though, because there's nothing. I mean, honestly, there's nothing better when you're camping than, to cook a hot dog over the open fire, burn it a little bit,
yeah.
Put it in a bun and eat it.
Yeah.
And it burns your mouth. It's fantastic.
Now, I have a question, Alison. When you're out there roasting some wieners by an open beach fire, did you have some meth out looking supposed Indian ritual dude show up to you?
Unfortunately, no, because I would have totally loved to hear about the whacking and the shark spirit or whatever this is supposed to be.
All right, so I'm watching this, right? And at first I'm like, why is there some sort of homeless dude walking out here asking these kids for money?
Because that's what would happen now, right? They would just call 911.
So this guy shows up. All these kids, so we meet the kids at the early. This is like it. All right, it's like the book.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't get released yet because that was 1990, so it was coming out. But the book was already out, and this is like the It kids, you know what I mean? They're all like had to do like this blood oath and shit about this. But here's the story, and I thought this was kind of like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So this methed out looking, supposedly Native American dude shows up, and he's staring at these kids, and it's kind of creepy at first. I thought he was gonna kill them or something like that, or ask them for money. That's what I put in my notes. I do like one kid had the Beach Boys hat on. I like that.
Yeah, what's more American than that, right?
I know,
See,
exactly. See, we're Americans. We got
we're
Boys.
Americans. Hello, fellow Americans.
So we kind of meet the kids at the early age. We have Miki.
Yeah.
We have Ben. All right. We have John. All right. And then we have Miki, Alan. How could I forget Alan? We have Miki, Alan, Ben, and John has kids on here. Okay.
Yeah, the most American names.
The most American names you can find. All right. And so this like methed out dude goes on this story saying, you kids you're going to be something special now because you are going to do the tradition of carrying on the legacy of our tribe, because here's the story of our tribe. Our tribe, and bro, I could not believe this when I heard this. He was like, our tribe were such great fishermen. God above saying you all are gonna empty the sea because you're such great fishermen.
Yeah, there's not gonna be any fish left. You're gonna eat all of them.
I was like, you telling me
that's got to be great for the ecosystem.
You're telling me that God told you that you are going to wipe the sea out because you're such great fishermen. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, we don't believe you. All right? Especially in 1989, you probably don't even have half the shit we have nowadays. All right?
No.
So then he's like, well, see, our tribe was so good about getting fish that they created a sea demon, the Wacken, to come and stop us and destroy our tribe before we can empty the sea. And at first I'm like, well, good. That would have fucked up if you would have emptied the sea, assholes.
Yeah, that would have fucked up the whole ecosystem if you caught all the fish.
I know.
Like everything would have died, right?
So I'm thinking, first of all, I'm like, how is this crackhead doing anything out in the sea? That's for sure. All right, and then he gives him a piece of wood. It's like, here you go. You all have to make a blood oath that if the time comes, you will use this piece of wood to fight the Wacken and shit. And then they all do a fucking blood oath like it. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah. So as soon as this guy comes out of the woods, starts talking about his like spirituality nonsense.
Yeah.
I was immediately brought back to home because this is exactly like what hanging around in downtown is like.
Yeah.
So like you hang around like you know, like right around on Patton, like right where the music hall is, or like any of those, you know, other like around that corner. There's going to be some like cracked out weirdo that walks up to you and tells you some spiritual story about how he moved here from Ohio and the mountains told him that he had to come here and the great spirits of blah, blah, blah. Oh, can I have some money?
Yeah, exactly.
Then, you know,
if he would have asked the kids for money at the end, I would have loved that scene. I'm like, this has been the best scene ever. But no, he didn't. He was just like, oh, you got to have to care. And then I'm going to disappear out of here.
Yes.
So now we're seeing all the kids grown up, I guess. All right, because we see one kid who is like a big into golf.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that was Ben. So Ben's character is he grew up and the dad wanted, I guess, okay, so Ben's story is he is big into golf, but his dad wants him to be more into business. And I guess they had a brother that died in the sea that we only heard about. We didn't see it at all. Okay. And so him and his dad have like a really strained relationship. All right. But like I said, like I just like this Ben character. Like, well, I like golf and I make good money and somebody wants to sponsor me now. All right. I ain't going to do all that business school stuff, brother. I'm doing the sports.
No. Yeah. I'm going to make money on the sports.
Right. Then we meet John and Miki. They're pretty much best friends. They're kind of like the Beavis and Butthead of the story. Even though Miki becomes like the ultimate babyface guy. Okay? And then we meet Alan, who Alan has like some rich dad that doesn't listen to him, and Alan just wants to do his own thing. Okay, so that's our crew. Then we have Jason, the dudes with attitude. Jason, he's the leader of this Fonzie group, I guess. You know what I mean? They go around terrorizing with chicks and stuff.
Yep.
And then we also meet our main sheriff of the story, Cody, who is like a lazy cop, but he becomes good at the end. Okay.
Yeah, because he's the guy who he's the sheriff, right? Or
the sheriff.
Police. Yeah, because did you see the poster on the wall? It's coming up in a little bit, but it says re-elect sheriff or sheriff blah 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 because he's too old to get a job or something.
Yeah, he's too old to get a job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
All right. So then we see our first shark attack, which we have a 1989 mom and kid. They're out there hanging out the beach. The kid's going into the water. We have shark vision is back. All right, it's back on a different franchise now. All right.
Yeah, because we can't afford too much shark action, so we go back to shark vision.
Shark vision, and then we see the mom in there on a raft. She's getting attacked by the shark now, and we see some Kool-Aid blood.
Yeah, there is no way this scene was shot in an ocean. It was shot either on a river or a lake, but this is not an ocean.
Oh yeah, definitely not an ocean. Yeah.
So that scene where they're talking about being beside the Mississippi River for for a short scene, this might have been the scene that was shot in the Mississippi River because there's no way this is an ocean.
There's no way.
Because it looks like a big river or a lake.
Yeah. So now Cody is talking to the kids. The two kids this is John and Miki, about them trying to spear Jason and all his friends. All right. And he's talking about why y'all giving up life and stuff, blah, blah, blah. One of you's even rich. Okay. And then the cop goes on a story about he says a lot of kids are not as lucky as you kids are. They have to be stuck in this town and they have to do fishing to get their ways going. So we're basically showing that it's a small fishing town. All right. And he gives the kid the spear back. All right. And then this other kid, the kid from earlier that got his mom taken up, he comes in and he is saying that his mom got taken by the ocean. And the cop, Cody, doesn't believe it. He thinks the mom maybe just drowned. And he tells the other cop, hey, get the kid some food or hell, get him drunk so he keeps talking. All right?
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
You don't get kids drunk to keep them talking? Come on now.
Not me, man. That's your business.
That's not mine, bro. It's like Cody guy. He's the one that said it. All right. So now we have John and Miki. They get confronted by Jason. Dudes with attitude, Jason. They all start racing. They get out of their truck, and then Jason just beats their ass. Right? And tells them, when I tell you get off the road next time, you get off the road.
You get off the road.
Because I'm a tough guy.
He's the king of the road.
Even though Jason, he didn't look tough at all. He looked like $150.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to play the part, right?
My favorite part, though, is when Jason was whooping their ass. You hear a girl in the background. Yeah, Jason, kick your ass. Oh, my God. And then
it's so, I was going to say, it's so like every 80s American movie, right? But shot by an Italian. Like, this is what America is like in the 80s.
This was like, brother. You got the Fonzie out there in his group taking care of the preppies.
Exactly.
All right. So now, John and Miki, they call them, those guys are just too nutty. Oh,
too nutty.
Oh, calm down, bro. Don't be saying them kind of fighting words on there.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
All right. So they're by a place called Ocean Springs, and this is when they meet the girl Ava. All right. And Ava is the girlfriend of Alan. Ava is only there to lust over Alan, and that's about it. That's her death of her character. Okay. All right, so now we have a big, like, I think it's like some boat pageant stuff. Like, you can bring your boats out on the water, and they have like all dressed up like pageantry and shit like that. So
yeah.
And this is when we have Ben is there. Ben now meets the mom, And now he's meeting his dad in the garage. Ben helps to go fishing with his dad. The dad kind of doesn't want to go fishing because I guess the younger son that he had died in the water. They don't say how he died, but he died in the water. So the dad is not too keen to going back out in the water. And he doesn't know about Ben's life choice of going golfing. He's like, you ain't no fucking Tiger Woods. All right? I don't give a fuck if you get sponsored or not. Go do that business shit.
Yeah, I thought this was really weird, like, because they don't really explain why the dad doesn't want to go fishing with him. It's like, just go fishing, man.
No, because
it's because the brother.
The brother, yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's because the brother, but they don't give us details though.
Yeah, they don't give us details of like I guess he drowned or something. I don't know, some sort of fishing accident.
And a fishing accident.
Yeah, then the mom tells the dad, "Hey, you gotta let that shit go. You gotta go fishing. The son needs you. Ben needs you, man.
Yeah, because otherwise he's gonna become a professional golfer.
Yeah, you can't let that happen, brother. In a couple of years, that Tiger Woods is gonna destroy everybody, and this guy's gonna be out of a fucking job.
Yeah, yeah. He's gotta have fallback.
Exactly. All right, so now the dad's like, okay, well, I think I'll go and try. I'll try to go fishing with him. All right. So now we have the rich kid. He's coming home, Alan. All right. He meets his dad, Henry. Alan's dad is the mayor of the town. And, well, actually, sorry. His dad's not named Henry. He meets another guy named Henry. But basically, basically, Alan's dad is trying to he's trying to do everything, like, for Alan. Like, he's basically trying to give him a career path and telling him what to do his whole life, basically.
Yeah.
And Alan's the 1980s rebel dude who's a preppy guy, and he wants to do his own thing, brother. All right?
Right.
What his own thing is, we have no idea. But he wants to do his own thing.
They don't tell us, but it's not whatever his dad wants him to do.
Exactly. Whatever his dad wants him to do, that's what he not wants to do.
Exactly.
All right, so let's see. We have the Miki and John. Okay. They are now going to this is when we cut to the scene. And now we can see that John, Miki, Alan, and Ben are all friends because they're the grown-up kids from earlier. All right, in the beginning of the movie. They're all hanging out with their chicks. Then Jason and the Fonz come up.
Yeah.
All right. And they're all like, oh, look at them preps over there. All right. And this one guy, I don't know what his fucking name was, but he walked up. He was like, he's trying to be all tough. He's like $1.50. He's like, yeah, give me some Jack Daniels and Coke on the side. I was like, so you want the Jack Daniels and then you just pour the Coke in? Like, they don't make it for you? You just want them separate?
I remember the first time I had a drink.
Give me some whiskey, brother. I'm tough. All right. They're like, hey, look at the prep crew over there. All right. And then
maybe that's how they used to drink in the 80s. I don't know.
They're tough, man. All right. And then they leave because like the bartender guy's like, just get the fuck out of here. And then the prep guy's like, that guy's a jerk. He'll get what's coming to him, which was nothing. He actually became babyface at the end. So I guess nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So now Alan is talking to Ava, all right? Remember, Ava, she's only there to lust over Alan. That's it. That's her character's format. Okay, that's what she does. All right, and this is when Alan's talking about he doesn't want the dad to control his life. All right. Mm-hmm. So now Ben and his dad, they do some fishing. All right. Ben asks, dad asked Ben, why do you like golfing? He's like, well, I like it. I'm good at it. And he's going to get sponsored. It's like, okay.
Sure.
And then they think they get a fish. All right. But it's shark vision. All right. The dad is talking about when the water's warm, that's when you get fish, or when the fish are scared, that's when you usually get a lot more fish. All right. Mm-hmm. Ben got cooked on something big. All right. And then when he pulled it up, it was a dead fish head. But guess what? Guess what, Alison? Unlike in Jaws 3D, it wasn't in 3D. This dead fish head wasn't.
It wasn't. I know. It was just a dead fish head.
I mean, what are we doing?
No 3D
here,
in this one.
What are we doing here, bro?
I know. Why are we even here?
How dare we would disgrace the great name of Jaws 3D?
All right. I know. What a classic. What a classic Jaws 3D was.
Shout out to Jaws 3D. We did some good ones on this. This month has been going pretty fun so
This
far.
is a good month. It has been. Yeah, we did really good.
So now that Dad's all worried, he's like, oh shit, I've seen this before, I guess. Let's get out of here. All right. All right. And then now John and Miki see both the Ben and Dad are leaving. They're like, oh, they're quitting. I guess they're not finding anything. Hopefully we won't have the same bad luck. All right. So now John and Miki, they go scuba diving. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they're getting all geared up. I'm not sure if it's John or Alan, because one of them were supposed to be rich, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they screwed up the characters. But I guess these are the kids. They were saying, like, I guess a lot of the kids make their money by catching fish and selling fish.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess
they're two. Yeah, I mean, they live on the ocean, so maybe that's something they do.
So now John's on the water. Miki tells him, he says he can't find any fish. He's going to go deeper. Miki warns him, don't go too deep. All right, and then when he does eventually go too deep, and Miki was about to get in the water, the shark attacks him. All right, and we see shark vision, and then Miki sees the black shark fin, and he screams, "Shark!"
How exciting!
And then I put in my notes. Then the black fin shark bites John in the ass. Takes him down. Then we get some of our Italian Kool-Aid blood.
Because John gets killed pretty early on.
And just like in Jaws 2, Miki goes and tells the sheriff, hey, there's a fucking shark that just killed my friend in here. And they're all like, and then the cops are like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? This is an ocean. There's no sharks in this ocean. You're making it all up.
Yeah.
So, like, that's always been like a shock.
What are you gonna do?
Like, why would you not believe a shark attack can happen in your ocean?
Well, I mean, so you got to consider that there's some places that don't.
Yeah.
The sharks aren't that common, but at the same time, I think the whole idea is you don't want to think that there are sharks that are killing people because it's going to kill your business, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to go in the ocean if they think they're going to getting bitten by a shark. So I guess that's why I don't know that they don't believe. I think they choose not to believe in all these movies.
Well, also too, it's one of those 80s things or horror movie things too, where the first victim of everything, or like the baby face, cannot be believed. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, for a narrative aspect, like I didn't want to mention that, but yeah, it's like it's just, because if they believe them, then they would be able to finish the story quicker. So
just like
in where they're not believed.
Yeah, so just like in Jaws 2, where we had Martin Brody, telling the townsfolk, hey, I believe the shark is back. Miki is all like, hey, there's a shark, black fin shark out there killing my friend. And they're all like, we're not believing you. So now...
Or in Halloween or Halloween 2, where they don't want to believe that Michael Myers is out there killing people.
Exactly. The horror movie trope of not believing the baby face.
Right.
Is back. All right, so now Cody, the cop, thinks it's all fake. All right, and he says, if he speeds out of here, give him a ticket. All right. So now Miki tells Alan that John died. All right. And then now they tell the dad, Alan's dad was the mayor. All right. And now this is just like, I feel like we skipped something in here, which we didn't.
Okay, right.
Because Miki tells the cop Cody, hey, there's a shark out here. I think he killed my friend. The cop's like, oh, he's lying. Don't fucking believe him. Then Miki goes and tells his friend Alan, who Alan has, the mayor has his dad. And then once Alan and Miki tell the dad's like, oh shit, let me get the Coast Guard. So he just like overrides everything Cody does, and then Cody doesn't even get in trouble.
Yeah, it's almost like part of the movie's missing or something.
Yeah, I was like, shouldn't we have something like where maybe the mayor doesn't believe him too or something? But no, the mayor's like, oh, just call the Coast Guard. We'll figure it out. All right. So, and then now the mayor also calls Cody and tells him, hey, you got to go tell John's dad that he died. All right. Not, hey, why didn't you fucking believe this guy in the first place? I got to tell you to do all this shit. All right, so that's when Cody tells John's dad that John's dead, and we have sad music, and apparently we find out that John's mom died like around this time. It was like the anniversary of the mom's death as well too. So that's another random story that we had played out here.
Yeah, I thought this scene was made really weird, but yeah, you have that typical sad movie moment where he goes to tell the guy's son's dead.
Yeah.
But the guy doesn't really look that upset. Like he's just kind of having a conversation with him. So
I'm glad you pointed out because he was all like,
"Okay,
what are you gonna do?"
What are you gonna do? I got to get back to sawing this thing I was working on before you got here.
What the fuck's going on here? All right, so now we have Mickey's back in his house. All right. Let's see. We have okay, hold on. We get Mickey's going to a house. Cody tells the prep kids about his friend dying, kind of like similar to John dying, and then he gives out his condolences to all the John's friends basically. All right, and now Mickey goes to the pier. All right, we have the shark vision under the pier. We have a helicopter in the sky. We see all kinds of shots of the beach town. All right, we have a girl talking about John's death, being close to his mom's death anniversary. Mickey says it's not fair that John didn't get a grave like his mom did. All right, and then this is when they're telling Mickey like, hey, we all don't choose when we die, okay, or the way we die and stuff. All right, now Mickey has now inherited John's truck. He looks at Ava and says, "This was John's truck." Okay.
Nice. Very in-depth scene there.
So Cody now finds a scientist like the first Jaws movie. He says, "I'm a police officer. I'm not no scientist." We get a scientist. I don't even know what this guy's name. I just called him the fat dude in the blue shirt, who looked like every other dude nowadays. All right.
Right.
And he said, "Oh yeah, I used to swim with sharks." And I was like, "Bullshit, brother! You never swam with no fucking sharks.
You never swam at all."
Yeah, exactly. And then he's going on about sharks, and Cody's like, "Well, they're only fish. All right, they're only fish.
They're only fish, man.
So we have the Coast Guard.
Kill you or anything?
Yeah, they don't kill you. They're just fish, brother. You can put them in your aquarium. All right. So the chopper now sees the shark.
Yeah.
All right. And he's like, "That's it. That's that killer." All right. He goes to shoot it.
This is so good.
And he shoots it down. All right.
Yeah.
And then once he shoots it, he says, "All right, call the doc. That's meat for them now." This guy must have been so excited about his lines.
Right. Yeah, he was like this super Rambo guy who was just like, he's like, "There it is."
There it is.
And they just shoots it and like it's meat for them now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now, Cody asks the scientist, "Why is this shark here now?" And the scientist is like, well, this town has a history of monsters in it. And then before we can get more of an explanation, the cop Cody gets a call saying that they sharked the shark, and then Cody's typing saying, "See, it was just a fish." So apparently the scientist guy knows about the Wacken.
I guess,
Yeah.
But we don't really talk about that much,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently there are monsters in this town, but we don't talk about them again because now we killed the shark, so we don't have to worry about it.
So they pull up the shark. The scientist wants to take it back to the lab, and Cody agrees, unlike the other shark movies that we watch where they usually have a little bit of hesitation. All right. Mickey looks at it. All right. And then out of nowhere, the meth Native American fish guy shows up saying, "Don't believe what you see."
Nope. It's not. Yeah, he just shows up out of nowhere again and tells them. So do they remember him? Does he remember him from being a kid? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does, because he'll say that later on. Like,
oh,
hey,
yes.
I remembered him. But I was like, I thought it was gonna go like this. I was like, don't remember what you see. By the way, do you got about $3.50?
Yeah. Do you have a couple bucks for me? I'm kind of short on cash.
I'm hungry, man. You got any food for me? Fucking godly. All right, and then now Miki is in his room listening to some shitty music. All right, and now we're getting backstory of Miki's. All right, his dad comes in, tells him to turn off this shitty music, and I was like, I don't blame him. Turn that shit off. The dad calls him a punk, and apparently Miki's mom died because she was a alcoholic and a drug user. And the dad's like, she was always a drug user. And Miki's like, no, she wasn't. It's because you were out there fucking around and mom knew about it and you drove her to be crazy. And that's why she ran into that fucking tree. And dad's like, no, she overdosed and stuff before you were even born. All right. And then, I swear he said this, but then Miki was all like, I hate you, Dad, with all the chakra in my body.
All the chakra in my body.
I was like, wait, what?
So fantastic. It's so good. What a weird line.
And then like the dad's all upset, and then he's all like, comes back in the room. It's like, I apologize, Dad. And Dad's like, I'm sorry too. I'll make it up to you, which he never does.
Nope.
In the film. Yeah, pretty random backstory scene, but okay.
Okay, whatever.
So now we have this waitress girl, Janice. She's giving out drinks to Jason and his crew, Miki and all his crew and stuff. And then Janice gets into a car with some creepy looking 1980s guy. All right. Miki now sees the shark and he's thinking like, this is not the one that got John. Because he notices that on this shark, it has a gray fin and the one that he saw had a black fin.
Yeah, so it's definitely not the same one.
Yeah. All right. And then, of course, he's telling his friends that. And, of course, their friends, just like in every horror movie, they don't believe him. You're just grieving. You're just grieving.
Yeah. Just like in Jaws.
Yeah.
This has got to be the shark.
Yeah.
It's got to be the shark.
So now we have, this is a total random scene. I'm just like, this is totally 80s right here. And I was just cracking my ass up during this one. So the waitress, Janice, she's like, they're by the beach with this creepy guy. She's like, you haven't divorced your wife yet. He's like, well, I'm getting to it. He's like, you've had a year.
You've had a year.
Now you have one more week to divorce your wife and come sleep with me. All right?
So she expects him to get divorced in a week?
Yeah. Well, he had a year, Alison. I mean, come on.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's possible, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right. And then she's all like, I'm so mad at you that I'm going to go swimming in this high current water right now. All right? Because I'm going to show you that I'm better than your wife.
Your wife.
All right? So she goes in the... Okay, this is when I thought we were going to get a nude scene, but we didn't. So she gets out, she just goes into her bathing suit, jumps into the current, right? The other guy's looking like, oh man, like, should I divorce her right now? I don't know what to do. And he's all like, hey, can we get back? I have to leave pretty soon. All right? And she's all like, big man, afraid of the little water. All right? And then she's in the water. We see the black shark fin. He sees it too from apparently miles away. He saw the black shark fin.
Yeah, he has good eyes.
And he's like, oh shit. And then we get Janice, and now she gets eaten, and the guy drives away. He's like, well, dodge that bullet. All right.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So now we're back at the city. All right.
Yeah.
And the mayor is talking about John's death and saying that we got the fucking bastard. We got the killer shark. And of course, Mickey's like, no, you got the wrong shark, brother. This is like this is Mickey's Brody and Loomis moment.
Yeah, this is literally a scene from Jaws.
You got the wrong shark, man. The shark you got had a gray fin. The one I saw got a black fin. Believe me. And then Cody's like, you're disturbing the peace. I'm going to take you away. He's like, what? I'm going crazy. Blah.
I just expect him to say, look, it's a man eater. It's rare for these waters. It could be the shark. It probably is, but let's go cut it open to see if the little kid's inside. I expected that whole scene to happen again.
Exactly. Just like in Jaws. Nope. Yeah. Just take him away from disturbing the peace, brother.
Right.
All right. So Cody brings him to the station. There's a piece of paper that just says RoboCop on it. It's just fucking random. All right. So before Cody can berate Miki some more, the restaurant owner who had Janice employed by him saying, "Hey, Janice didn't show up to work. That's not like her. And we found her red pumps on the beach. I think something happened to her." All right. And Cody's like, "Well, maybe she drowned."
Maybe.
This guy, how is he still employed, brother? All right. So now Miki goes around. He's going to the rich guy's, Alan's party. All right. And he gets Alan and Ben to come over to him. And he's saying hey, that fucking girl Janice drowned and stuff, but I don't think she drowned. I think she got attacked by the blackfin shark. All right. And then they're not believing him at first. And then he says, "Hey, remember that fucking weird, cracked out Indian dude we met earlier when we were kids? Yeah. I saw him again." And they're all like, "Oh shit, that guy was fucking crazy, bro. He gave us some sort of crystal stuff. I still can't recover from it." They didn't say that, but they should have. All right.
Should have.
All right. And they're saying you're crazy. And he's like, "I know I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Okay. But we should dig up that wood and those 4 knives that we buried as a kid." All right.
Because that's going to kill, because he knew back then it was going to kill the shark 20 years later.
And he's like, "Okay, what's going on?" He's like, "Well, I got a plan." All right. All right. So now the mayor is saying, "Oh, there's no more danger here. We got the shark. There's no more danger." Then we had those 3 crew, John, Alan, and Miki. No, sorry.
Yep.
Ben.
Yeah.
Miki.
Alan and Miki.
They go up. They dig up the They dig up the meth guy's wood thing. All right. And then Miki was like, "This was John's knife."
Yeah, it's our somber moment.
Oh my god! And then they take out the knife, they unbury the knife, and then they rebury the knife.
Yeah, that's like a symbolically burying John.
So now, I guess Mickey's plan was to ask Ben's dad for help of how to capture the shark. The dad thinks it's all insane, but then he agrees to do it after the mom basically is like, "Hey, you should do that shit."
Right.
So then they agree. They get the boat ready. They're saying that the sharks can smell blood from a quarter mile. All right. And then Alan is getting sick on the boat, and the dad gives him a lemon to calm the fuck down. And
I guess that works.
Yes. And then now, like in almost every Jaws movie except for the first one, they're getting TNT ready. All right. They didn't use the fucking air tanker. All right. They're using real dynamite, brother, to get the shark.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a whole lot of dynamite in this.
There's a shit ton of dynamite.
That's a lot of dynamite. I don't know how you even get that much dynamite.
Well, that comes up a little later. They just got a little dynamite right now.
Not true, right?
All right, so now Cody is telling the scientist guy and some fat dude that Janice was eaten. We found her body and she was eaten, and it looks like it was eaten by a great white. I'm not sure who the fat guy was, but he was in there. So now we have a bunch of kids looking on the pier. All right, we have shark vision, and then we have some National Geographic stock footage showing up.
Yes.
All right. So, all right. So now the shark, kind of like it goes for something and then it goes away. It goes for part of the TNT, but then it gets away. And then Miki touches the wood. The Wakan Indians, all right, think that the shark is a monster from the sea and will wipe out the whole tribe.
Right.
All right. So basically, the dad knows the story of the Wakan tribe. All right, because the Wakan tribes believe that there is a creature or monster from the sea that will wipe them out and wipe out their whole tribe. The reason they believed this because they were fantastic fishermen.
Right. And because if not, if the Wacken didn't exist, there would be no fish in the ocean.
Yes. So the boat gets stuck. The blade does. Dad is the one who agrees to do it. He goes down there. We have a scary moment, and he's okay. All right. So now Cody is telling the mayor that, hey, your son and his friends are out there trying to catch a shark, and now the mayor's all happy about it. He's like, oh, yeah, my son's not a fucking pussy. All right. That's good. All right. So the dad comes up saying, I got the fin working, and hey, by the way, there's a shipwreck below. Y'all know that? Mm-hmm. And then the kids look at themselves like they're all confused. All right. And then the Coast Guard shows up, and it tells everybody to leave because they know now that there's another shark in the water. Okay. So everybody leaves disappointed because they weren't the ones who could take out the shark. They don't want to leave it to the Coast Guards to do it because they already fucked up last time getting the wrong shark. They want to do it.
Exactly.
All
exactly.
Right? So Cody asks, what's the big idea? To the dad. All right. And Shelby says, this is personal, not like last time. All right. And then we cut to Alan telling, I love this part. This part was like hilarious to me. I don't know why. So Alan is telling his squeeze Avi. Mm-hmm. All right. He's like, we all made like this blood oath promise and stuff.
Right.
To stop this evil of the ocean. This black fin shark that's whacking. You know what I mean? This crazy monster to see. We all agreed to stop him. All right. Mm-hmm. And then Ava's like, well, I don't want you out there because, you could get killed and stuff. He's like, listen. And then he goes and tells everybody's story. He's like, Miki is out here because he's trying to avenge his mother's death and his friend's death. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to prove to his father that he could do things on his own and, kind of build that relationship. Alan. Oh no, then he's like, Ben is trying to repair the relationship with his dad. He's trying to be a better person, find his own way in life. All right. And then you got me, and I'm just stuck in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
I don't have no plot line. They didn't write a plot line for me. I'm just some sort of rich idiot kid that has a hot girlfriend. That's all I am.
There's no plot.
Where's my story, brother? I feel like he was doing like creative like control like during this like I feel like he was trying to find his. You know how wrestlers, they'll go up to like the main booker and like, hey, I got this great idea for my backstory. I felt like he, in the middle of this movie, was trying to find his backstory. Right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's telling everybody these great heroic stories of life and trying to overcome life. And then he's like, well, I'm just in the middle of everything. All right. All right. And then Ava asks, like, why can't you just be... Ava's like, well, what can I do? And why can't you just be with me? He's like, listen, I have to do this. What I need from you is I just need you to be here when I need you. And she's like, I'm not sure I could do that. Okay. So now Jason sews up to Miki and shows him respect. So now Jason has turned babyface.
Nice.
And they ride together because now Jason is going to take over the mantle of John now. Because there have to be 4 of the oath of the Wacken there, John.
Right. There has to be 4 of them.
Can you believe that?
Just like there were when they were kids.
So Alan talks to his dad about him being brave, and then they hug. So Alan, he's finished part of his story of getting his dad on the side. He's not stuck in the middle no more, brother.
Mm-mm.
All right? He's overcome his rich dad's stuff, I guess. I like my notes here. Some mullet dude gives him some sort of shark yellow box.
Shark yellow box.
It's a shark yellow box and says he guarantees us it's gonna work. I guess it's supposed to be like
he's right.
It's supposed to be a shark tracer, I guess. I have fucking no idea. So now Jason helps them load up. This is the part you're thinking about, Alison. Jason helps them load up a fucking big, a whole truck full of TNT dynamite, basically. I don't know where the fuck they got them, but they got them. All right? And then I put in my notes, they sail off to music, apparently from Zombie 5.
Yep.
So they load up the TNT. Miki makes himself a TNT vest.
Mm-hmm.
All right? He's like, if he bites me, he's going to get what's coming to him. I was like, apparently you are too. So they all dive down to a fake ship below. Do you see that thing? It looked like a toy.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was a model. I am pretty sure that was a
like
model.
Even like the depth of their, it just looked like a fucking toy model. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we've seen some of those before, but
not a model like you would have had a special effects company build. It was like I went to the store and bought a model.
Yeah, I went to the store. I put this fucking boat in the bottom of my pool, and that's what we're driving to. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, so they start setting up the TNT traps to zombie music.
Yeah.
Miki takes the yellow box, leaves it into the ship. So they're diving to the ship, and they're setting up all the TNT in the wrecked ship because that's where they're gonna trap the shark in there and blow him up. Okay?
Right.
So they got everything all ready. This took about 30 minutes, them setting up everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They give the thumbs up. All right. They're trying to connect all the. Then they get up. They get up to the boat, and they're explaining us. After they've done everything, they're explaining to us what they just did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I always love that when movies do that.
To make sure we understand.
To make sure we understand.
Yeah.
Because, like, Alan pulls them up. He's like, what'd you guys just do? Well, fuck, what do you think we just did? All right? They're like, we connected all the charges together. That's what we're doing.
Mm. Sure.
All right? So they're all ready to get up there. Jason hasn't gone up yet. All right? But the shark comes. The shark starts mashing into the ship. All right? The ship starts to wreck down. Jason is getting trapped. Miki hears this. He sees the shark. He just jumps right in to the ocean, swims to go get Jason. Yeah. Helps get Jason out. Jason gets away. All right. Miki is now staying behind. All right, because he's our major baby face of the story, and he's trying to reconnect the yellow box together. Okay, so he does that while the shark's swimming around. Then we have Alan up there. He's like, "What the fuck is he doing down there? What are we gonna do?" And then they're all thinking like, Alan's like, "Well, fuck, we got to do something." So Alan is just like, "Fuck, I'm gonna blow everything up. I don't give a fuck if that Mickey's down there or not. Let's blow everything up." All right, and they're just like, "Wait." So then they see like this little bubble thing, and basically from there, Miki pops out, and he says, "Blast that motherfucker." Well, he didn't say motherfucker, but he says, "Blast it."
Right.
So that's when we have the big explosion scene. Everything blows up and stuff. Mickey's all fine. All right. And Miki gets out of the water. All right. And then they all cheer it. Oh, shit, yeah, we won. We blasted up everything. All right. And, like, I didn't really like this blasting scene. Like, it was kind of too quick for me. Like, it was just explosion, and we barely even saw the shark. We saw a little bit of the shark blow up and stuff, but it wasn't as cool as, like, I actually liked the one from last week, Jaws 4, The Revenge. I liked that scene of the shark blowing up. Even in Jaws 2, that scene was cool, the shark blowing up.
That was really cool. Right. But that was way higher budget though.
Yeah. So this one, it was okay, I guess, for what it was. And I guess they reused that. Yeah. They used this scene for Cruel Jaws and The Great White. Yep. So pretty interesting. So now they all get back to the pier. Everybody's cheering. All right. The women are running up in cohesive motion up to the guys. All right. Dada's happy with Ben now. Ava says to her friend, "I can't just live without Alan." That's cute. Awesome. They all walk off happy with Jason. Jason is now part of the crew. He has overcome being a bully. He's now part of the prep cool. The preppy cool, I guess. Cop Cody is about to give them a ticket for disobeying his rules of going out to the sea and disobeying the Coast Guard, but he saw everybody happy and it warmed his heart. He rips up the paper. Other cops like, "Why did you do that?" And then Cody's like, "Just take off those fucking glasses." And then we end Deep Blood.
Yeah.
Blood of the Deep.
Blood of the Abyss.
Besides the ending being a little bit anticlimactic, I thought the movie was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, it was fun. It was fun to watch. You know, typical Italian copy of an American movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. So,
not too bad.
I did like the ancient Indian burial, all that fun stuff that they add in there. That didn't really play a part in the movie, but I guess it kind of did or something.
Kinda. I mean, like I thought it was going to be more of you know, we buried our secret weapon to kill the shark kind of thing, which is not really what it turned out to be. But you know, we'll see. Yeah. Whatever. But it was okay. It was fine.
It's cool stuff. So, but everybody, thanks for joining us here for our look at 1980s shark horror movies.
Yeah.
And we're not done because we have one more to go.
We're not done. We got one more to go.
Come and join us next week here on the Retro Blood as we finish out our very first ever Shark Month here on the Retro Blood. And we're going to talk all about Night of the Sharks.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, so we'll see how this goes.
Night of the Sharks over here, brother. Y'all can find it on the YouTubes, just like you can find us on the YouTubes and on Apple, Spotify. Give us a like on there. Let us know what y'all think of our shows. Like us, subscribe. That's how we can keep this train going. All right? If y'all have any kind of movie reviews you want us to do and talk about, retroblood69@gmail.com. Just write your name, the movie you want us to talk about, and why you want us to talk about the movie. Maybe it's a fun childhood memory of yours. We'll talk about that on the air. Like if you want us to read your childhood memory of the movie, we'll read that on the air.
We'll do that too, yeah.
So. But Alison, what Beastie Boys song should we play for all of our podcast listeners out there?
Let's play High Plains Drifter.
Ooh, High Plains Drifter, because you know that copper guy, he was in the chopper. Shooting down the thing. He seemed like a drifter out there killing them crazy killer sharks. That killer on there. So, but everybody, J.H. Alison, James Kline. We will see you here next week on the Retro Blood for Night of the Sharks. See y'all later.
See you guys.